Hey everybody, how are you? Happy Saturday. So I had some amazing client calls this morning and I wanted to share with you a powerful shift that I was talking through with one of my coaching clients this morning. And I work with a lot of people around creating a healthy relationship with food, right? And other ways that we can cope and manage stress because it's so common that we use food as a coping mechanism, right? This is what we're taught, this is what's normalized, and it's really working through this with people. So it's super common, right? When we're stressed, emotions are high, we need to cope with that and decide what that's going to be and how that's going to look. Right now, life is insane, right? It is without a doubt stressful, uncertain, fear, schedules are changing, like all the things, right? All the things are happening right now. And it's so important that we are understanding how we can best manage these things because we can't always eliminate stress in our lives. And it's healthy to have a certain amount of stress so we can be motivated to move forward and do new things. But if we're not managing stress appropriately, it's at the cost of our own health. And that's when it starts to be a problem. When we start to neglect our basic needs, we don't take care of ourselves, we do everything for everybody else and then put our needs last, and then we burn out and we get sick. All the things happen that we don't want to happen, right? So we need to be proactive in really understanding what this means for us. And there was 3 powerful things that we talked about today during our call that I wanted to share with you, and hopefully this will help you as well. I'm always here to add value to you. So we talked about a couple situations. So in her past, this is something that she's been using as a coping mechanism for decades, right? Decades and decades, she's been using food as her coping mechanism when anything happens, right? When anything stress is high. So we talked about some really positive ways that she dealt with this past week and a way that was challenging. So the first thing that happened was she made sure that she is having consistent balanced meals during the day. One of the first things that we do is we don't eat, right? We neglect the needs of our body. We don't nourish ourselves properly. We don't give ourselves the right balance of food groups together at our meals. And then our bodies are needing that nutrition, energy later. So that's typically when we're going to overeat carbs, fat, higher calorie foods because we're not getting enough of the nutrients that we're needing during the day. So the first thing we've really implemented is she is having 3 balanced meals with snacks during the day and giving her body the fuel during the day. First piece. Second piece, we talked about this situation that happened and she was really upset by it, and I asked her what the emotion was because sometimes it's fear, sometimes identify what's the emotion you're feeling. Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you sad? Are you what are you actually feeling? A lot of times that's the hardest part right there, is actually feeling the emotion. We are constantly taught, keep pushing through, keep going harder, don't feel it, just keep going. And this is really, we're just pushing those emotions down and not addressing it. So that's when we're using other ways to numb ourselves through food, through alcohol, through pick your choice, right? But we really need to feel this. And so I said, what was the emotion that you were feeling? And she said, I was sad. And I said, so what did you do? And she said, I cried. Hallelujah. Yes, we need to feel that emotion. She said, I cried, I was upset, and I was able to move through that, right? And that is the hardest part, is feeling the emotion, right? And if we don't feel the emotion, that is when it just builds and it just sits inside of us. So we really need to feel that. So she felt the emotion, she cried, and that releases that, right? So she acknowledged that was what she needed to do. And then number 3, was she thought about how she, first of all, didn't want to feel if she, ate the foods that she was going to eat that she knew wasn't going to make her feel good. She said, I have been working so hard to create these changes. I've been planning my meals. I've been feeling so much better. My digestion is improved, all of these things. And she's been working so hard to make these changes. She really visualized that for herself. She's like, how do I want to feel tomorrow? How do I want to feel the next day? Right? So that way that gave her, okay, this is why I am going to do this right now, or I'm not going to choose food, go downstairs and overeat foods that are not going to make me feel good. So she was able to settle herself. She was in bed, so she changed her environment. Instead of being in the kitchen, she was in bed, grounded herself, took a bath, went to bed, slept great, got up the next day. Move forward. Beautiful, beautiful. So again, I said this is something she was doing almost every day. This is happening so less often for her. It's absolutely amazing. It did happen one time this week where she did use food as a coping mechanism. This is going to happen, and I want to emphasize this to you. In recovery process, we will fall back into old habits. We will fall back into things that we did before. The difference is that they're going to happen less often. When they do, we're so much more aware of why they're happening. And number 3, we can move through it so much faster than in the past. So in the past, if you're, compulsively overeating every single day, and now we're doing it once a week, that is amazing progress, right? So we talked through a night that it happened, right? That she used food as a coping mechanism. It's going to happen. I said, this is okay, right? And just giving okay, this is normal that this does happen, first of all, is so helpful to hear, that it's not that you failed or that you screwed up, you're never going to be able to work through this. It's like, okay, so this happened. Now let's talk about why. So that day that she used, that she overate the foods that she didn't want to, she didn't eat enough during the day. We talked through her day. And she's like, I know, Jennie, I know I didn't have enough for breakfast. I didn't have my snack, like all those pieces. So then later in the day, she was obviously more hungry, but it's like that perfect storm that happens. We're hungry, we're tired, we're emotional, stress is high, we feel like we're taking on the world. And this is when we don't make the best choices to support ourselves. So just to come full circle, the top 3 things to help overcome compulsive overeating, binge eating, all these things, it's not always, we think like it's something wrong with us and we label ourselves that way. And I also think that's really unfortunate that you are not someone that XYZ, like you're not, I don't like to label people with like a diagnosis. It's like, okay, this is something we're working on together and it's not your like life sentence. So absolve yourself of that. So just to recap, eat enough balanced meals during the day. If you don't know what that means, that is what I'm helping my clients understand what that means for them because it's very individual. Number 2, you have to feel it. You have to feel the emotion. Identify how you're feeling and what you need to move through that. This can look different ways. Maybe you need to cry. Maybe you need to call a friend that's going to support you to work through this. Talk it out. Talk, so important. We talk through these things together in our coaching calls. We reflect. We talk about what was really positive, what went well, and what we can learn from and do better next time. It's not pass fail. It's like, okay, let's keep going forward. And then number 3, think about how you want to feel. Think about like what is important to you, how you want to feel tomorrow, and how you want to feel to continue to move forward to meet your goal. So those were the 3 things. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I know it's really hard right now. It's really hard to manage all these things, and it's okay to feel angry, frustrated, sad, tired, etc. Like feel that way. But you also need to take care of yourself. You also need to nourish your body, drink water, sleep, and take care of yourself. Like it's okay to feel all the things, but please not at the cost of your own basic needs. So if this is hard for you right now, if you're really struggling with this, like reach out and ask for help, right? If it's not me, ask somebody else, right? This is what we need to work on, and it's okay that you don't need to do it alone. It's courageous to ask for help, and I know it's hard. So believe me, I'm asking for help in so many areas of my life too. I'm not saying I have it together, but it's okay. So I hope that was helpful. If you're watching Team Live, let me know. I love to see you guys and engage with you. If you're watching Team Replay, say hi to me. Is this something that you're struggling with? And you don't have to comment below. Give me a heart if this resonates with you, if this is something you are working on or struggling with. And if there's anything ever I can do for you, please let me know. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.